Good afternoon. You made it. Welcome to the 4th annual CIJE Tank competition. You CIJE Tank students have conquered and excelled. Of the over 300 capstone projects submitted, your project emerged as a viable solution to take to market. Based on your ingenuity and as a product of your teamwork, your submission shined, earning you the status of finalist. Everybody here is a winner, and you have emerged, and we're so excited to celebrate your invention. A special welcome to the Posnack team that flew in from Florida to take part in this national event. At CIJE, we're able to network schools, allowing students to compete and learn from their peers from coast to coast. We create platforms and cohorts for teachers to share, reflect, and perfect their curricular offerings. CIJE Tank is an example of how, as an organization, we can create a framework that supports what happens in the classroom by creating an authentic audience from the business world and meaningfully convening students from various Jewish day schools. The winning team from today will receive the assistance to create a preliminary patent for their invention, which is generously sponsored by Tani Renov from the Pearl Cohen. Special thanks to Mitch Berkowitz from the Mall for being a sponsor. We are indebted to the dedication of our teachers and parents who have facilitated the growth of our CIJE Tech students, our crowning jewel. Thank you. I would like to thank all the CIJE mentors and executive staff that are here today who have created this pivotal program that takes Jewish education into the 21st century. This event is also the product of teamwork. Special thanks to Phil Brazil, who really took care of every detail. Adam Jerusalem, we have Jay Smallwood and Dwayne Clark here as well. And then we also want to thank the entire CIJE office staff for all their work. We're indebted to our Sharks who have suspended their other responsibilities to be here today. I'm going to ask them to come and take a seat in these chairs, the Sharks. Yes, they have names. But we've decided to do this a little bit differently this year. We're going to give each Shark the opportunity to share their crowning achievement, their favorite quote, and their current position. We're going to start with Mindy Sable, then Dov Friedman, and then Yvette. I did it.
Hi, my name is Mindy Sable. I work in an IT director position at Revlon and have business experience in other companies like Time Warner. My favorite quote is that your best teacher is your last mistake. We all, stumble sometimes, and that's really the best way to learn. My crowning achievement is an initiative I started called Code Kavuda, which is a nonprofit that focuses on tech training for Jewish women specifically. Really proud to be here.
Hello, my name is Dov Friedman. This is my 4th year judging this competition, so very excited to be back here. I currently am the founder of an investment firm called Imminent Capital, where we find the newest, coolest tech products. We introduce them to the biggest big box retailers in the world, and then based off of their feedback, we decide if we're going to move forward with that project. My biggest crowning achievement was about, I think, 8 years ago. I was working at a private equity fund, and I was the director of marketing and branding for the companies under the umbrella. And they gave me a task. One of the companies was a laptop case, backpack, accessory company. And they said, get this into the Apple stores. I'm like, sure, that should be easy. And what I did was, I knew that we almost had no shot, but I had an ace up my sleeve. I went to every Apple store in New York with hidden cameras, and I recorded me introducing the product to the salespeople on the floor. I got the salespeople, who are the ones who are actually selling the product, to the customers to fall in love with the product. When I showed this to the fund manager, he's like, "You're crazy. I can't believe that you did this." And I said, "Well, when should I use it?" He goes, "If all else fails, bust this out." So I make my way over to Cupertino. I'm in a suit. I have all my wares. I'm so nervous sitting in front of probably 5 of the most powerful buyers in the retail space. And within 2 minutes, they're like, "I hate this, I hate this, I hate that." I'm like, "Why did I just come all the way out here?" I said, "Let me show you something." And I played the video for them. And the head buyer went and closed my laptop. And he said, "Is this video on the internet?" I said, "No." He said, "Has anyone ever seen this video?" I said, "No." He goes, "If anyone ever sees this video, we are never going to do business again. I'll take this, 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 and that." And we ended up becoming the best-selling laptop case backpack company in the Apple Store for about 5 years. My quote is, what I would say to you is, don't be afraid to take that chance. Don't be afraid to push the limits and push the boundaries. If you believe in something, then take it and go with it and show them why they need your product. And that is a way that you will definitely become successful.
Are we supposed to be using this or this? Okay. Keep it on your chair. Hello. Hi, I'm Yvette Edidin, Neighborovsky. So some people in the yeshiva world know me. I went to Hank. I am now I'm founder and principal of Edidin Partners, my husband and my own family office. And we do life science investing, real estate investing, and I specifically focus on nonprofit consulting, mostly because my greatest achievement was when I was the mayor of my town, which was interesting and novel as a woman and an Orthodox woman. I was in the private equity space before that, which is my role here speaks to that. And I also studied engineering, which is also related to CIJE. And my favorite quote is, when you point a finger, there are 3 more pointing back at you. So you guys have spent a year or more working on teams, and sometimes things get tense, and you have to fight that proclivity to blame when something goes wrong, because there's always something you could have learned from the situation or have done differently. You could have communicated better, you could have had better oversight, you could have thought ahead, right? So if everyone in the world just owned mistakes a little bit more as opposed to pointing a finger, I think we'd all be better off.
Thank you so much to our Sharks. So we asked all the Sharks to share their favorite quote, and I feel compelled to share my favorite quote that really has a lot to do with what our CIJE Tech students have been doing these past years, which is essentially go through the design process, find a problem, and create a solution. And I would like to share with you a quote from Steve Jobs, who obviously we all love seeing the Apple stock rising, and there's a reason for that. And there's this quote I believe might be kind of like an inkling to the success of Apple, and maybe we could also learn a little bit something from it. And he says, "When you grow up, you tend to be told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world. Try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family, have fun, save a little money. That's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it, you can build your own things that other people can use. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again." And I believe that you have gone through that experience of taking vision and actualizing it, and in that process, creating real agency, that you are change makers. So with that, we are going to begin, and I'm so delighted to call up our first group from the Frisch School, Cyclesafe, with Rebecca Almo, Ori Glickman, and Geffen Feldman. And Ariel Orgel.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Alamo,
I'm Gethin Feldman.
And I'm Ariel Orgel.
and we are Cyclesafe. Every year, over 5,000 cyclists get into potentially fatal crashes in New York City alone. These crashes are caused by cars hitting the cyclists. Billions are invested into safety of cars every year, but no one seems to focus on the safety of vulnerable cyclists. Cyclesafe is here to change that. Our mission is to keep cyclists of all ages safe and to prevent biking accidents with motor vehicles.
The Cyclesafe is a lightweight wearable vest for cyclists that displays turn signals and brakelets so the rider can communicate with other cars and cyclists. The high visibility of the LEDs ensures safety on the road, especially at night, as the drivers know the cyclist's intentions, whether they are turning or stopping. This is the Cyclist View while riding. The switches are located on the handlebar for easy accessibility and control. This is the back of the vest the cyclist wears that the drivers behind the cyclist sees. It is lightweight and fitted, so it won't interfere with the aerodynamics and speed. There should be a video playing. Okay, as you're supposed to see, when the cyclist flips either the right or left switch on the handlebar, the turn signal is shown as an arrow corresponding to the direction they are turning. When they pull the brake, it displays the message brake on the back of the vest.
The slide isn't switching. Should I just go? Yeah. Oh, okay. Our target consumers are the 48 million cyclists in the United States. In 2020, in 2020, bike sales increased by 63% from the prior year, meaning that the number of cyclists only continues to grow. Every cyclist would benefit greatly from the risk reduction that comes from the Cyclesafe vest. Our original prototype cost $75 to manufacture, but with bulk pricing, we can reduce the cost to $49. The retail price would be $98 for a profit margin of 50%. Cyclesafe has better features than the few competitors on the market. One competitor is Winglight. In order to use Winglight, the cyclist needs to take their hands off the handlebars, which could cause them to lose balance and potentially crash. Cyclesafe, however, is optimally placed so that they're easily accessible when needed. Winglight also has a 4-second delay, which could be the difference between life and death. Cyclesafe lights up immediately. Bike turn signals. Another competitor is Bike Turn Signals. Their product is located on the back wheel, making it difficult for motor vehicle drivers to see. Cyclesafe has bright LEDs in a high and visible location on the cyclist's back. In 1 year, our goal is to add a variety of wearable options, including shirts, belts, and helmets, as well as different styles for children. In 3 years, our goal is to have Cyclesafe included with the purchase of a bike. We hope to protect all riders, including future riders. In 5 years, our goal is to team up with car companies in order to have compatibility with autonomous driving systems. Stay safe, cycle safe. Thank you.
Hello. So I'm just curious, first of all, terrific job. I took notes on my phone when I watched the video earlier. And things that I loved that you conducted a survey that was on, it wasn't here, but it was on a prior, on your website, is that what it was?
Yeah.
The competitive research I thought was terrific. The website that you did create I thought was terrific. I love that you also took very seriously the future considerations for your product, and there were a lot of interesting options. And I guess, given that you thought of this, why do you think other people haven't thought of the same product before? I know that's a little unfair, but it does seem very obvious.
Yeah, well, we showed our competitors, and no one has put it on wearable options. All the competitors just show it putting an attachment on the bike. And so, I don't know, we thought it would be a good idea to put it on a vest so that it's easy for cyclists to wear.
We were kind of wondering the same thing, like why hasn't anyone thought of this? It seemed like such a simple fix to problems that people have. As we said, that there's so many accidents that happen. It seems like such a easy fix to something that's such a problem.
And can you just review one more time? Is it physically hardwired, the vest, to the bicycle, or is it like a
So it's a Bluetooth, like
Bluetooth? Okay,
connected
sorry.
to your brakes and switches on them.
Okay, terrific. Well done.
Yeah, on my side, I don't know if you wanted to go first, though, but I actually loved the simplicity. Like Yvette, I wondered, why hasn't this been thought of before? I tried putting on my consumer hat, right, and thinking about the practicalities of carrying an extra piece of clothing around. And in general, the challenges of marketing safety, right? The reasons we have seatbelt laws, car seat laws, is it is a challenge to convince people to invest in saving their own lives. So I'm curious how you thought about that. Before I got to some of my other questions, also love the clarity of the problem you're trying to solve. I think the simplicity that we got is much in thanks to your presentation. And I also love that this is a topic that I happen to know a lot about because one of our data science students at Code Kabuta modeled out a lot of the bike accident rates from the New York City open data that's available. And there is an intolerable amount of accidents. This is a huge problem, and I'm so glad that you're addressing it. So my question is really just the marketing, and to add on to that, if you've thought out of the box, given that the problem seems to be exacerbated in urban areas, if you've considered tying some of your strategy into not only car manufacturers, but municipalities.
I don't know. We hope for the future. We want
Kind of what we said is kind of what we thought about so far, and we haven't really thought past that, but I myself even know like of so many accidents that's happened with my friends, people just in the community. So that's how this kind of came about. We haven't thought, just kind of what we said is what we've really thought about, but everything that you said, like, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can take this. Well done.
So first of all, great job. A couple of questions that I had is the system that you developed, is it universal, or is it easy to hook up with every bike, or did you design it specifically for one bike, and how easy is it to put it onto other bikes?
We hope it's easy to put onto every bike. It's pretty easy to set up, and it's just connected through the vest.
Okay, I know we didn't get a chance to see the video that you prepared, but can you explain a little bit how the product works as far as how it's detecting whether you're turning left and right? Are there handles that you're pushing in order to make that signal move?
Yeah, there's 2 switches on the handlebar on each side, so whichever switch you flip, it will show the arrow in that direction.
Got it. Okay, and you don't have the prototype here today, right?
No.
Okay. I would just speak about it, and I think this is something important for every team. You mentioned that you think eventually you'll get the manufacturing cost down to $49. Where did you come up with that number? How did you get there?
Well, we found in different, it's kind of like Amazon, but the Chinese version. So they have all these products that they sell for in bulk. So
On
for
Alibaba, is that?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got it.
So, yeah. So on Alibaba, we looked up all the products that we used or that we thought would be better, and we kind of took each one and added them together for how much we thought our product would be, or the average of.
Okay, I think that's a very smart way to go about it. You knew what all of your components were. You took the components, and then I'm assuming you used the lowest price possible if you ordered in bulk, right? But I think another thing that you'd have to consider is your labor costs, your packaging, all those things on top of that. And I think just based off of a $49 manufacturing cost, your retail is actually going to be way higher, because you have to consider every retailer is going to take minimum like 30 points of margin. So that's money that right now, we were involved in a product one time where we're like, all right, great, 50, we're making 50% on this product. At the end of the day, we were losing money if we sold the product. You almost have to be at like 80, 90% margin in order to make any money in retail. But again, overall, really great job. Also, one more question. Is it like an autonomous integration? Like, is there an app that comes with it? How does the bike connect to the vest?
To the vest?
Yeah, how do the controls invest to the vest? Is there an app that connects them, or is it just you're flicking on the Bluetooth switch and then you're seeing like a green light that's lets you know that you're connected?
Well, for our prototype, we used radio transmitter signals. Oh, sorry. We used radio signals for it, but we hope for the future, if we were able to make it again, then we would add a light that tells the cyclist that it's on the back.
Great job. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay, as a cyclist, I really appreciate that. I could use one of those. Okay, our next team comes from DRS, CalCop. Yes. Okay, we're going to have our team from DRS, CalCoop, by Be'er Bosco, Samuel Weissman, and Ari Khan.
Hi, my name is Ari Khan,
My name's Sam Weissman.
My name's Bear Bochco.
and we are CalCop. Of the many problems that pertain to our topic, we chose to zone in on 3 specific ones. The first one, shown by the graph, expresses the percentage of people who managed to lose weight during the pandemic by country. And as you can see, America is at the bottom of this list. Our product will help raise the amount of Americans who can lose weight and hopefully raise America to the top of this list. The second problem was based on a study done by the National Center for Health Statistics, which expresses that over 70% of Americans are either overweight, obese, or severely obese. We hope that our product will help lower the rate of obesity in America. The third problem is that over 35% of Americans expressed that they only maintained within 5 to 10% of weight which they had previously lost, and less than 5% of Americans maintained more than 20%. Our product will hopefully increase the amount of weight that Americans can maintain in the future.
Our product, CalCop, is a hands-free device that can count and track the amount of calories a person has burned. When a person breathes, He inhales oxygen. Oxygen aids in the breakdown of fat molecules and calories burnt. A byproduct of this process is CO2, carbon dioxide, which is sent out of the body through the lungs. This shows that there's a direct correlation between oxygen intake, CO2 exhale, and calories burnt. CO2 exhale is converted into calories through our microprocessor on our mouth guard. Our project is comprised of many components. We have here our CO2 sensor, which is connected to our microprocessor, which converts the CO2 sensed by the sensor into calories, which is all stored on the mouth guard. It is sent to our mainframe Arduino over here through these RFC transceivers, which is then shown on the LCD screen over here. The amount of calories is shown on this LCD screen.
So our mission is to aid people in achieving their goals of losing weight by creating a device that precisely tracks the amount of calories you can burn throughout the day.
Theoretically, we could sell this product to all American adults who want to lose weight, which would be 126.83 million people. But within that number, we would sell to American adults with memberships to gyms, because these people would want to spend money on, these people are willing to spend money on their weight loss journey, and that would be 64.19 million people. And within that number, we'd sell to American adults who are successful in losing weight, because these people want to maintain the weight loss, which would lead them back to us. And that's 31.71 million people. The global market of weight loss services in America is $2.11 billion in 2021, with an expected compound annual growth rate of 2.3% from 2020 to 2023.
So we have two competitors in the global market. One is Lumen and one is Breezing. Lumen and Breezing both have the devices that can precisely track the calories, but they're not hands-free. They're handheld, therefore you can't use while staying active. So our device, which stays in your mouth while doing exercise and while sitting at a desk, is an advantage over both of them because it can be used in many ways. So our prototype itself to build costs about $70 each, but if we would buy all the products and the items to build the prototype, it can be reduced to about $55. So we decided that a retail price that would be fair is $135, which is still $200 less than what Lumen and Breezing are selling their devices for. So Sharks, can you imagine that there's 70 million people in the United States that suffer from obesity? Each year, 300,000 Americans die of obesity. Now imagine a quarter of these people that die from obesity got their hands on our product. That's 75,000 more people that are with us in the United States today. So the world would be a happier and healthier place. So Sharks, please join us on our journey for weight loss taken to the next level.
Hello. Could you guys just spend a moment more talking about Lumen and Breezing? Because I'm confused, and I know judges are on a timer, so I'm going to be very succinct in this. I'm confused about how the CO2 ties to the calorie counting.
So it's based on your metabolism, and when you breathe out CO2, the device tracks how many calories you're burning per breath or throughout the day. So Lumen and Breezing have the device, yet you can't use it when you're being active. It's a handheld device. So when you're being active, let's say while playing a sport, you wouldn't be able to be using it because you wouldn't be able to play the sport or have the device.
So how are those products used currently?
So they're used for people, at work that want to track their calories and see if they should be eating like different types of foods while at work, and seeing if they would be gaining weight at work. So they're only using it at a desk. But our device isn't just for a desk, it's also for people at gyms or people that are just exercising throughout the day.
you have the product with you?
Yeah.
What does the mouthpiece look like? So while you're working out, you have that device in your mouth. Is that how it's designed?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you drink through it?
No, but you could just take it out, and then it would resume your count of calories continuously, even after you take a breath and take it out of your mouth.
Got it. So it's something that you have in your mouth while you're working out, but you don't use the product like just walking through the streets. Right?
No, you could use it while walking through the streets. It can be used while walking through the streets, or while doing exercise, or while just being at a desk. It can track your CO2 whenever, because it's a hands-free device. So it's just in your mouth throughout the day.
Okay. I understand the data that you guys are providing, but in your minds, how is this product motivating people to lose weight? Because I know that's the biggest, your biggest selling point, that you're motivating people. How does this motivate you?
People go to the gym to lose weight, to put on muscle. I mean, it's always a self-driven motivation to work out, to lose fat. That is our goal. Our product is here for people that are motivated and to motivate people to help work out, because it's a very simple device, and with more improvements and with more time, we know and we could improve our device to help and motivate people.
I understand that point, but if I'm at the gym and I'm working out, I'm already there, how is the information going to help you lose weight that you're getting from the device?
Because a lot of people, they work out and then they come home and eat more calories than they burn to the gym. Our product tells you how many calories you burnt, and therefore you know how many calories you could eat without gaining more weight.
Got it. Okay. And would you say this is a more precise way of finding out how many calories you lost
it's
relative
based
to, my iPhone, just, checking out how many steps I took during the day, or how many calories I've lost. When I'm on a Peloton, it's telling me how many calories I lost.
Yeah,
from
so
biking.
I actually tried trial with it, with my Apple Watch, with the elliptical, and also with the mouthguard in. The Apple Watch tracked about 200 less calories than the elliptical, and the mouthguard itself tracked it into like decimal places, and it was pretty much in between. So it precisely tracked the calories compared to an elliptical or the Apple Watch I was wearing at the time.
Okay, all right, that's great answers. And also, I would just like to point out again, I think your manufacturing cost based off of your retail price was pretty rock solid. I think you guys definitely did your research with regards to that. I think, looking at it right now, it does look bulky. Obviously, you guys aren't super engineers right now, but hopefully one day, if you could go and compress all of that and put it into, a simple, clean device, I could see a product use for it, case use for it.
Yeah, in the future, we want to make it Bluetooth and going to an app, which because my friend actually recommended this thing called One Shield, and you just put it on top of the Arduino, and then it sends it to an app on your device. So in the future, we'd like to use that.
Yeah, great job. I agree. I love learning how the technology works, right? And I think your selling point here is the accuracy, right? We all have weight loss or health tech in our lives to some extent. I think we need to break out exactly how you can fit into weight loss and whether your technology is in fact best suited for that target market. I think the accuracy of calories in, calories out could be used in hospitals, where every calorie might have a stronger impact. There are other applications that might have better product market fit than weight loss, which is far more complex, needs to be integrated into so many other touch points. I'm curious if you've explored other target markets and how you landed at weight loss.
Yeah, we definitely explored different target markets. It's not specifically just for people who want to lose weight. It could be used in any market.
So the market that we explored was simple at-home devices like Apple Watches. We had Fitbits and Samsung watches. But Fitbits aren't only sold for weight loss. They have other uses. So they're not as accurate. They're not mainframing on that specific usage. Our product, CalCop, is for that specific use. So it's going to be more accurate than the other at-home uses like the Apple Watch and the Samsung.
Also, the biggest population market that we found, even though it could be used in hospitals, like we did some research that, but the majority that would want this type of device would be people, working out that can use it throughout the day because they're probably going to be most active, or people at their desk compared to people in hospitals.
That's really interesting. Thank you. Great job.
Also, just one final note. I'm seeing the logo. That's the Mouthpiece. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's the Mouthpiece.
Clever, cute. I would just make his eyes maybe a little happier. He looks a little angry, but other than that, I like it. Really good
He's
job,
showing
guys.
off his muscles. He's
Got it. Good job.
Judges, would you like to see the device? Yeah.
We're excited to welcome our third group for today, Hot Shots from Breweria High School out in Jersey. We have Shoshi Kantor, Rivka Malik, and Tali Pinsker.
At ThreadCheck Co., it is our mission to bring fabric classification and quality detection into the modern age. I'm Shoshi Kantor.
I'm Rivka Malik. And I'm Tali Pinsker.
As Jews, we are biblically prohibited from wearing shotness, a mixture of wool and linen. In order to get a garment checked for shotness, one must bring it to either a shotness laboratory or a certified checker to have the item viewed under a microscope. This current model is severely outdated and has many downsides. For example, last year my brother was purchasing a suit and needed to get it checked for shotness. The nearest shotness laboratory was over half an hour away. There wasn't only the travel time to consider, though. There was also the monetary cost of buying the item in store, then having to pay to get it inspected, and then potentially needing to return it if the item was seen to contain shotness. To fully understand our problem, we conducted market research, and our survey concluded that on average, the travel time to a shotness checker was 37 minutes, and it cost on average $17 per item being inspected. In addition, for 11% of those surveyed, the issue was so cumbersome that they waited for a traveling shotness checker to visit their community before even determining if items they had already bought could be worn.
In order to solve this issue, we turn to artificial intelligence. The competitive edge gained from using AI is unparalleled, which explains why industries are constantly jumping at the opportunity to implement them into their businesses. Once trained, AI is both more time efficient and precise than human performance. Although one might assume otherwise, mechanical machine learning is better at processing large groups of data. They do this quickly, accurately, and reliably. Our first product, an AI-based app entitled Hot Shots, solves this issue by allowing users to check for shotness with the convenience of their mobile device.
In order to develop our prototype, we decided to train our model on the 2 fibers included in the prohibition and a fiber commonly found in clothing. Using an online AI algorithm called Teachable Machines, we did an immense amount of prototype testing trying to identify the fibers when they were by themselves and when the fibers were included to form shotness. Step 1, the test image samples of wool, cotton, and linen were taken on both an iPhone and Android device and incorporated into a TensorFlow algorithm, the industry standard in image classification. Step 2, our neural network. Our neural network breaks down each image into their base components to identify the different layers in their patterns. Step 3, the third and final step, inputting your own image and watching it getting break down into shotness or not. Our user interface, which opens up with our product name, logo, and start button. Once started, the user is prompted to input their own image, and while they're waiting for the results, an ad is displayed. Upon completion of their ad, the results are displayed on screen.
As we previously mentioned, the human shotness checking system has many downsides, including a need for travel time, possible need for return, and higher cost to the consumer. Our product eliminates the need for returns and travel time and is more cost effective. Our app is free to download and comes with 2 24-hour free trials during which users can scan as many items as they want. After these trials are finished, users pay $4.99 in non-renewable subscriptions of 24 hours. Put simply, users pay a set fee for every day they use our services. Our target market is primarily Orthodox Jews. Our market extends to roughly 2 million people, and our market projections are based on the assumption that about 80,000 people will use our app in its first year. We plan to generate revenue in multiple ways. Our main source of revenue will be from in-app purchases. Additionally, we plan to market off data sales like email addresses. We also plan to place advertisements while the AI is configuring, avoiding the need to place interstitial pop-ups and banners, yet still benefiting off the advertising industry. By placing special offers and deals when we know there's an increase in shopping activity, we incentivize the use and download of our app. We also plan to advertise in local Jewish newspapers and run demos at Jewish expos to help spread the word. We also aim to gain rabbinical endorsement to help alleviate any biblical doubt and create strong customer relationships.
While we are aware of the limited target market of our first product, the true innovation behind our technology lies in the fact that with just a few simple edits, we can benefit so many other industries as well. For example, one future product which we have started working on is thread detection, a machine learning-based application which can detect fabric quality, tensile strength, and thread integrity right from within the manufacturing line. This can greatly benefit both the textile fashion industry along with the industrial engineering industry. We hope you join us on our mission to bring fabric classification and quality detection into the modern age. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, love the presentation. Your name, Hot Shots, it's really creative. And it's a very clear problem you're trying to solve. For a pilot market, I think it was incredible. You really thought about everything from rev streams to the technology you're using. I would love to see more on that second part, how you can scale, right? Because it is a targeted market. I love that you addressed that head on. But I'd love to develop that further. As an investor, I would really look for a return on investment. And with this target market, it does an incredible job solving a problem in a creative way, but we're not going to see that return. So that was really where I'd love to probe a bit further. And I also wanted to learn more about what do you mean by AI specifically, because the training model that you used really is pretty straightforward, right? And very scalable. Are there any other applications besides threads, right? You're training based on a specific set of images. How far have you taken the thought process there?
So first, just to do the first point, the plan was to start with the AI for shotness because since it's just a product that uses software, we could get it out quicker, generate some revenue for that, and then put it back into the thread detection one because we would be building some sort of hardware to then implement into these these factories. So that was the intention behind that, and then
we were exploring different possibilities we could take with our product, and we were thinking about maybe using our technology to differentiate between different types of hair so that we could get people that have the best hair products for them. So it's a big issue now. Everyone's trying to figure out which hair product is best for them and discovering different textures of hair could also be like a huge market that we could tap into.
That's really
And
cool.
Based on the complexity of what we're using, the TensorFlow algorithm that we'd be using for future models and products, as long as we get a big enough test database of images, we have enough data to prove that we can scale.
A really tight problem and solution. Love it. Great job.
Really great job. That was a fabulous presentation. When I first thought about McShotness, okay, really limited market, but I think the technology behind it is kind of fascinating. One thing that I don't think you addressed was the accuracy of the product. Can you speak a little bit more about any tests that you guys conducted?
So one thing we saw just by doing research on the thread detection part was that the actual human accuracy of detecting fabric defects in these manufacturings is only between 60 to 75% accurate. So there was a big gap in that. In ours in testing, in initial testing, we were between 97 to 100% accurate. And the actual human testing is either less accurate or equal to ours. So that standard is definitely higher.
Got it. I thought that your revenue model was also very interesting, the $4.99 a day to use. I don't know of many apps that I've come across that use that, but I think it's kind of interesting. If I had to pay 99 cents a month for the product, maybe I would do it, maybe I wouldn't. I'm not sure, because it would just kind of sit there, but it's like, hey, you know what, I'm going shopping today for an extra $5. I'm going to make sure that everything I'm buying is compliant. And I think that that's pretty interesting. But you mentioned that 3%, that you're about 97% accurate. Are you guys going to put a disclaimer that you're responsible, in the world to come? Or
So we actually have gone to rabbis with it, and they, of course, would need a demo, but they said that if they saw that it was just as accurate or more accurate than a human, then they would be happy to put their rabbinic agreement, endorsement to it. And also on that first point of the model, in our survey, we asked if people would like a yearly subscription or a daily, and we had over 80% said they would like daily paying for that.
Great market research. That's really impressive. Another question: do you need a special lens on your camera on your phone?
So we compiled our database entirely out of iPhone and Android images.
Without any special lens, just regular iPhone.
We think that if the need comes up later when we make the bigger database, that it would just be a quick, easy little microscope addition. We tested it with one initially in our product, and then we saw that you didn't even need it, so we eliminated it, but it wouldn't be a crazy cost either.
It's easy to forget that our iPhone and Android devices have technology that far outweighs what we bought.
Okay, one more question that I had was, did you develop the user interface yet for the app?
We did.
Okay. Wow.
We would have a graphic designer to help it out a little bit, but that was just an MIT App Inventor prototype. But yeah, we did develop it.
Okay, and basically you take a picture and it says, no Shotnez or Shotnez.
Well,
Okay.
yeah,
A tad bit creatively.
well, yeah, so right now our two things are separate, the MIT App Inventor user interface and the Teachable machine neural network, but we would combine them in the future. Just the two things we were building on now weren't compatible, but they would be both built on slightly better versions of the things we
Okay,
use.
and how much would you say it cost you to develop the app?
My tuition?
No. The actual tech didn't cost anything. To get it on the app stores, that's what would be a little bit of the cost, but that's pretty much it. You want to speak on it?
Yeah, to have an app on the App Store, it's like $99 a year, and based on our revenue projections, we assume that we'll be able to fit that in there.
Got it. And did you guys develop the app yourself as well, as on top of the technology behind it?
Yes.
Okay, great, terrific.
I think everything's terrific. I have nothing to add. Way to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wonder how the ease of use would boost the compliance of people actually paying more attention to Shotness. Really wonderful. Wow. Okay, we have a group that flew in all the way from Florida, from Poznak. We're so excited to hear about AutoCycle from Elon Goldman, Zachary Sonnenblick, and Max Jacobs. Welcome to New York.
Autocycle. I'm Zach Sonnenblick.
I'm Max Jacobs.
And I'm Elon Goldman.
This is the original prototype of the Autocycle. It was originally created to sort between waste and recyclables into 2 compartments, but since then has been enhanced to sort still between waste and recyclables, but now the recyclables can be sorted into its respective compartments, like glass, metal, and plastic. The Autocycle works by when you place an object in the insertion hole, a laser will shine through, and determining if it hits it will be determined if it's plastic, metal, glass, or waste. Now, if the laser shines through and hits a photoresistor, it will either be glass or plastic. Then it will be tested by a competitive sensor to determine how much force and pressure is to hit onto the sensor. If the reading is above 200, it will be classified as glass, but if it's less than 200, it will be the plastic. If the laser never shines through and never hits the photoresistor, it will be determined as metal or waste. Then it will be tested for electrical conductivity. If it conducts electricity well, it will be classified as metal. If not, it will be classified as waste. Now, the major issue that Autocycle is solving in America is the problem of contamination within recyclables. When recyclables are contaminated within waste products, it eliminates that recyclable from being able to be used, and that's the main reason why multiple recyclables are not being able to be reused in society. The main method that the USA uses to sort between these recyclables, it takes all these recyclables and waste, and they send it off to China when China buys these products so they could sort it. But the main problem is China has poor waste management and poor sorting methods, so all these products that they're buying from us is getting piled up and causing environment issues. On top of that, China's also came on the record to say that all these recyclables that they're receiving is way too contaminated to even start to recycle in the first place.
Although China was our biggest buyer, in 2017, China bans all imports of foreign waste. Usually, we would send our recyclables to China and have them sorted and have them deal with it. Now we have to recycle between ourselves. Headlines and on headlines and on headlines and after headlines all show that recycling is a huge problem in the United States. The United States needs a mechanism to solve this. This is where the Autocycle comes in.
The way the Autocycle fixes this problem is that it eliminates human error, it eliminates the contamination of recyclables, and it also eliminates our dependency on other countries since the Autocycle can sort it out. In 2020, the market was valued at $54.4 billion and is projected to grow till 2028 at 5.2 compound annual growth rate. And in 2028, the market will be valued at $81.6 billion. If we're able to capture only 0.1% of this market, that is about $6 million. The way we plan to market our business is we can sign contracts with the stores and companies who can help distribute the Autocycle. Additionally, we can sign a contract with the mayor who can help us create a big recycling machine for the recycling plants.
After some research, we found the one true competitor of the Autocycle is the trash bot. As you can see, the trash bot consists of an exposed monitor and artificial intelligence to distinguish and determine what is trash and what is recyclable. The trash bot costs $1,500 to $5,000 to sell for one trash bot. The Autocycle only costs around $150 and only $90.09 to produce. Since we are cost efficient, we're able to produce a lot more units and distribute way more units throughout cities, countries, and states. With having more units across the countries, we'll be able to have much more of a profit, and with the same functionality, the Autocycle is so much more beneficial.
The Autocycle costs $90.09 to manufacture. This includes marketing, delivery, and rent. We'd even include scaling. With scaling, that price will drop drastically. Now, comparing to our competitors, we think we can sell our item at $150. For example, Home Depot sells a 64-gallon trash bin at $155. Ours sorts it for you, and it doesn't even contaminate your recyclables. With this, we'll make a 40% margin of profit. The city of Davie has shown some great interest in our product. We think with 110,000 residents in the city of Davie, if we be conservative, and let's say we only sell to 30,000 of them, we'll make a growth revenue of $4.5 million and a net profit of $1.8 million. There are 30 cities in Broward County and 67 counties in the state of Florida. We'll make millions and millions of dollars before we even go national.
Thank you. Never waste another second.
All right, great job, guys. I'll tell you, living here in New York City, our building is very strict about recycling, and one of the most time-consuming parts of my day is going into the compactor room and having to put the plastics where the plastics go and the paper bags where the paper bags go, and I hate it. I do wish I could just dump it into one thing. I think that another market that you guys didn't address is probably residential buildings. I think getting into the municipalities is one thing. I think once the garbage is there already, it's probably sorted to some degree, but I think from a residential aspect if I didn't have to deal with it because, I'm the one who's contaminating it, right? The person who originally put this garbage into the can is the one who's dumping it all together. But if there was a device in the building on every floor that you could dump in, I think that would be pretty special. One question I had is about your cost of manufacturing. I mean, it seems like this costs way more than $99 to manufacture. And also, you're talking about how large is this device and how much garbage can it hold at $99?
Well, the cost of technology itself costs $51 for all the sensors. And we found like the bin itself from looking on other websites besides Home Depot where normal people usually shop, we can find a scaled down version at $30, giving our total cost to be $90.09. In the future, we plan to add more stuff and increase size, so that price may increase, but so will our selling point.
So the product that you guys are pitching here today is based off of what, a 5-gallon? How large is the compartment?
It's the normal average size of a normal trash can you'll see in your normal residences.
Trash can. Got it. So, and then all of I'm looking at like the chutes that are going down. That is on top of the garbage can. So it's like a taller device, and then the garbage can is on the bottom, and then it's sorting into different compartments.
And it drops the material into the correct compartment.
Okay. My one comment would just be it sounds a little small for the amount of garbage that you'd want to put in. I think maybe one person in a house, it could probably do that. But again, you're talking about residential apartment buildings. You would need a much larger device, and then I think your cost is going to go up as well. But overall, I think you're definitely addressing a problem that needs to be solved, and overall, great presentation.
Hi. First of all, terrific presentation and terrific prototype. I watched the video. They had a cardboard, chute that was built, and they showed the testing of it, which, was very, it was perfect, exactly what you should be doing for CIJE. It's obviously an important problem, the most important problem that we face today, probably. And speaking to your point, there probably will need to be some sort of compactor element on the bottom to fit more once the trash hits the base level, but it's a first step to solving an important problem. So good job.
Excellent. I agree. Very important problem, and it seems that this is a very cost-effective solution. I was curious to hear more about your competitor, because you mentioned there's this competitor who does this for $1,500. Why are they not being more cost-effective, and what are you doing differently? Just wanted to understand that a bit better.
The way they're sorting is they're using artificial intelligence and exposed monitor, which costs way more than you're using sensors and experimental tests to test between them. So we're using a much more cost-efficient process than you just using artificial intelligence and exposed monitor to determine it for itself.
And do you know that their costs are related to the artificial intelligence versus the hardware? Do you have any of those insights? I know those are going to be based on assumptions, but...
I know most of the cost difference comes from the artificial intelligence and the exposed monitor they're using, because that could be very expensive. But there's also other components inside that probably will contribute to the cost that the autocycle is going to have. But the function is completely the same. They both sort between, and ours is way more cost effective.
And I'm sure, even if there are some compromises on the technology, there's room for a more cost-effective solution, maybe even in countries that are even far behind America, developing countries. So it's great that there's an option that can be a starting point for people who might be prohibited from recycling.
Yeah, since the prototype is so cheap right now, we could keep expanding the price and still make a big profit, because they're selling theirs for $1,500 to $5,000, and ours is only $150 at the moment. So if we need to make it bigger, if we need to add more components, we're able to do that.
Perfect. Thank you for explaining, and great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great presentation. It's heartwarming to hear students trying to tackle the big issues of a clean earth. Okay, the second team from the Frisch School. Hello, Dolly. by Daniel Saracen, Alec Mazel, and Bear Cheslow. Make sure to hold the mic.
Hi, I'm Alex.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Bear, and we're Hello Dolly. We created the Hello Dolly to deliver independence one dolly at a time. All day, you carry laundry, garbage, dishes, and boxes around the house, putting unnecessary strain on your back and knees. This can be especially harmful for older people and those with health problems, but is also inconvenient for those without any health issues. An estimated 16 million Americans experience chronic back pain, and a majority of those experience pain specifically when lifting and moving heavy objects. This leads to over $12 billion in medical bills and lost productivity. Our solution is a device that carries packages for you. Our mission is to allow the consumer to easily and conveniently move heavy items around the house without hurting themselves, restoring their independence.
Hello Dolly will work by the consumer wearing a bracelet that will connect with Bluetooth to the dolly so it can follow you around. The dolly is going to have a lift, which when a button on the bracelet is pressed will raise 3 feet for easy access to the objects on top, and it has infrared sensors on it for object avoidance so you don't hit anything when you're moving. Hello Dolly will work by when a package arrives at your house, it will have guardrails on the top, and one of them will flip down so you're easily able to slide things onto Hello Dolly, and then you'll be able to walk to the door with it, and then slide the package on, and then once you load it on, it will continue to follow you to your final destination. What we're anticipating the cost to be is about $299 to produce, assuming we're getting the mass market pricing, and that's including labor costs. And we're anticipating to sell retail at about $999, giving us a 70% margin.
So our total addressable market is 45 million people. The M's got messed up. But that includes all of the elderly people, with accounting for elderly couples, along with people under 65 that have back pain for whatever reason. Next is our serviceable available market, which is 60 million people, which is everyone that has back pain, both the elderly and everyone under 65. Finally, our serviceable obtainable market is 12 million people. These are the people that have back pain specifically when lifting and carrying things, and these are the people we would focus on. Hello Dolly has 3 competitors, and through extensive research, we have concluded, though, that there aren't any products that match our exact solution, because we're designed for residential use, and we provide lift support for everyday items. So, as you can see in the slide, we beat the standard cart in every category except for affordability. But even then, our pros, such as it following you around, outweigh this slight increase in price. We beat the Magliner, which is an industrial hand truck, in every category except for the weight limit. But our weight limit is 250 pounds, so the average consumer wouldn't notice the slight difference. We also we're more efficient than a Live-N-Aid in pretty much every category. And we also provide independence to the consumer by having them not need to rely on other people to carry things for them. In 1 year, we plan to have a basic, fully functioning, and reliable version of Hello Dolly, and we also plan to include stair climbing capabilities to allow Hello Dolly to climb up the stairs. After 3 years of production, we plan to have a higher tech version of Hello Dolly with an integrated app. This would allow for voice activation and software that allows it to map out your house. This would allow you to say, "Hello Dolly, come to the kitchen." After 5 years of production, we plan to get covered by Medicare and Medicaid. This would give the consumer easier access to independence. It would also benefit Medicare and Medicaid because they would have to pay less for Live-N-Aids. So our product would both save the $12 billion in hospital bills and lost time due to back pain and injuries, and would also help prevent these injuries from happening while delivering people the independence that they desire. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Good, sir. All right, so really interesting, an out-of-the-box solution to a very specific problem. So it's great that you're thinking about the elderly, those who are living with back pain. I think my main question is probably going to be the one you're expecting. This is expensive, right? Especially people who are compromised, who are possibly retired. How do you convince consumers to spend $999? And Medicare, Medicaid is a great long-term strategy, but there's a ramp-up time. I'm curious how you're going to stay above water and what your strategy is there. I wanted to add to that as well. When you were mentioning your value adds, you mentioned durability, right? Carrying up to 250 pounds. Is that necessary for the residential context that you're addressing here? And have you thought about ways that you could have a more nimble solution to this problem?
Yeah, so in order to be very durable, it's like a steel structure. So it's durable on the inside of the electronics. So as a result of that, it's able to carry a lot of weight. As a result of that, it's able to carry a lot of weight. To talk about the price, so we did some research, and even things like a standard wheelchair without really any special features is like $3,000. So there's a market for these things that are helping older people. And then once this is covered by Medicare, this would both help them, it would give them their independence. It would also be so much cheaper than Medicare and Medicaid having to pay for someone to have a live-in aid. So all around the board, it would be saving money.
Yeah, I don't think that the price is actually such an issue. We all know iRobot, they make Roombas. I was working at a hedge fund, I was covering iRobot as a company, and when they developed their latest robot, I think it was like $799, and I was speaking to other analysts there, and I'm like, that's crazy. Who's buying, a vacuum cleaner for $799? And unfortunately, I lost that bet, and they sold a lot of $799 vacuums. So I don't think that the price is too high. I think it does make sense.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'll learn from your mistakes too, is my quote.
So I would just share the idea of user-centered design. Is that something that you guys talked about in your engineering classes? No. Okay, so a great website to check out is our company IDEO, IDEO. They have a .com and a .org that focuses on nonprofit problems. So when you look at a target market like the elderly, you almost want to spend your year not just surveying them or deciding what they need, but to shadow them and watch how they interact with the packages that they're getting or the things that they're struggling with, to see if you can conceive of something to solve those problems. My take on this is that, and I've done a lot in the elderly market, which is why I maybe know too much, that it's an important problem, and this is a great concept, but that it would really benefit from that user-centered design approach, from just shadowing them and seeing even how they interact with your prototype to see, does it need rounded edges? Is it bad that it has that, that lip on it? Can they maneuver around that lip? Are they getting caught in it, right? I just think it's a vulnerable population, and so you want to really get that design aspect right. But great attempt to focus on an important market.
I don't think that the product is limited to the elderly. I mean, moving in and out of a house, moving in and out of an apartment, I mean, there's so many boxes to move. I think that one of your target markets can actually be moving companies, and it can help reduce costs of moving. I mean, moving is so expensive, and mostly it's because of labor. If we added 2 more people on, that ends up being, another $500, $600. And now if this company had this robots or, multiple robots that were able to go in and out of a house, I think that could be, a really good target market for you guys. You mentioned mapping of the homes. iRobot, I know they have LiDAR on their Roombas, and they're actually making charts of people's homes, and that's they hope going to be one of their biggest revenue drivers is basically to be able to sell that data and then use that data between other IoT devices within the house. Because once you have a map of the house, even though that product is just cleaning, that map of the house can then be used for other use cases. So I think it's something important to have. It's not, technology that isn't around, but definitely something that can help. Do you guys have you made a physical prototype of this product?
So we made a prototype out of wood that didn't include most of the features that we were trying to include. It also, we had wooden axles that kept breaking, and so we found that a solution would be metal, although we don't have a prototype at the time because of a lack of time and resources.
Got it. But the product is designed that it should follow you along where you go. Is that how it works? Yeah. Kind of like those luggage that they make now. Same technology.
So it would have a bracelet that has 2 buttons on it. One to say follow me and stop following me, and the other to say lift and stop lifting and go down. And so it would follow you through that bracelet.
About the luggage thing that follows you, that was actually like one of the inspirations, because I saw a video of the luggage like following people in the airport, and I thought, why is this just for luggage? Like, there's so many uses for this. This could follow someone around in their house. We could like broaden the scope of this and make a dolly that you could put anything on, not just your luggage.
All right, good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent job. Fantastic. There you have it. We've just watched 5 excellent presentations. I do not envy the Sharks, who are going to have to pick one. But the reality is that each group that presented today has really emerged as a finalist, has presented very well, as we can all attest to. And literally, it is a huge success. We're going to allow our Sharks 10 minutes to deliberate and find and try to isolate which product they believe will have the most viable solution for market. While they discuss that, we are going to ask all the students and teachers to please come to the front for some photo ops, okay? So live stream, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Students and teachers, please come up. Okay. Is this Phil?
If everybody, all the students could come up in front of the main screen, we'll take a group shot of all the products. If you could all come up with your teachers.
Okay, students, please follow Phil's lead. We need all students, Berea students, please come up. Please, this is a group. Oh.
Rifki, get in there, Rifki.
Yeah, come on. Oh, here we go. Group picture.
You could grab some more food while we're waiting. Take some more food, some drinks while we're waiting. almost there. If everybody could start heading back to the seats. If everybody could start heading back to their seats. If everybody could start heading back to their seats. How about that timing, right? 2:30.
Hello? Are you guys ready for this? Yeah? So as we've already said, out of over 300, around 350 projects, you guys emerged. as finalists for CIJE Tank. And with that comes some swag and some prizes. So every student participant and teachers, right? We have enough for teachers as well? So let's see what we get here. JBL speakers, my favorite brand, JBL. Phil, what else do people get?
And a sweatshirt.
A CIJE hat.
And a sweatshirt.
A poppet, and a sweatshirt, and a CIJE sweatshirt. As well as a trophy, because truly you are a finalist, okay? I'm gonna ask Yvette, one of our shark representative, to walk us through the judging process and to tell us who emerged with the patent.
Hello. So it was a really tough deliberation. We took longer than CIJE wanted us to. They kept rushing us along because you were all terrific. And it was hard. There were a few arguments over some of the criteria that we chose and who the right person or the right team should be. And so let me just quickly take you through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 6 criteria that we quickly came up with. That shouldn't be a surprise because your presentations and your projects were basically structured based on these. The first is the quality of the prototype. The second was your presentation. The third was the impact that the problem has on society. The fourth is how realistic your solution or project is in addressing the problem. The fifth is your strategic rollout plan, if you gave consideration to that. And the final was the revenue model that you came up with. And so the last two might have been criteria that some people considered as sort of a bonus as opposed to specific CIJE instruction that you should do that. But we did give credit to the people that did come up with both a strategic rollout plan and a revenue model that we felt was intelligent and well thought out. So the winner is Shotnez. Yes. Nice job.
We'd like Bracha Ehrlich to come up as well.
Is this on? I just want to add that I went to an engineering school. I went to the University of Pennsylvania's engineering program. I was in M&T in their Wharton Atten engineering program. And I was the only woman in an underground lab programming a hangman game on a beautiful Friday afternoon. And I wanted to run. And that was 25 years ago. And I just hope that you guys all go to engineering school, all go together, all have a great time and change the world. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Okay, the next group that we're gonna, not in any order. We're gonna go in the order that you presented. Cyclesafe from the Frisch School with Rifki Silverman. Rifki, please come in the picture.
Move up, you get in the back. There you go, that's perfect.
Mazel tov. Next group is from DRS, CalCup. Okay, no problem. Okay, come. Grab a trophy. There you go. You guys did a great job, really. Adam, do you want to be there with them? Okay.
Mr. Walbaum couldn't make it. Step up, guys. Step up and drop. So not in the. Beautiful.
Autocycle from Posnack. David, we want you as well. The master teacher. Maybe come up a little bit so that, yeah.
Perfect. Look here. Great. Thank you. Here, the bag's here. Listen, guys.
Hello, Dolly from the Fish School.
Adam, get the sun.
You guys did a great job. Fantastic. Here you go. Here you go.
Step up and drop. Step up. Step up.
Mazal Tov to all our finalists. Please make sure to have more food, drinks, sweatshirts. Take care.